Welcome to Silicon Valley Health Institute, formerly known as Smart Life Forum. We've been around about 20 years now, and we bring world-class speakers to you. And tonight's speaker is all the way from the UK. But it seems like a lot of people already know him, so. Which is wonderful. So, I'm Robert Minkemeller. I'm one of the board members here. I've been coming about 15 years myself. Been on the board for about the last year and a half or so. So we're a member-driven organization, which means we work on your donations. So we appreciate it. It's an incredible value. $60 a year is what we ask as far as a membership. That's $5 a meeting. So, and if you're not here and can't make it, we stream it live on the internet. That's why the speaker is so important, as far as microphones go, so the people at home can hear us too. Little bit of logistics. The restrooms are down the hall here. Take a left and hike about a half a football field. Then you'll see them on the right side.
Or we have diapers around here, so we can hold it. And they're organically grown.
If you have a cell phone, please silence your cell phone. If you're concerned about the EMF problem, feel free to turn them off. Oh, okay, Bern. How many people are here for the first time? Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming, and we hope that you'll join us again. Really good to see new faces here. And please tell your friends and family. We have so many great resources here. Usually we start the forum in this manner where we open it up for questions. So any health issue that you have, any health problem that you have, we have, I could probably count about 6 or 7 practitioners here, plus the practitioner on the panel or who's speaking tonight as well. So I'll put Miguel on the spot to answer a couple questions for you too. So, and then he'll have a period after his talk where we'll open it up for questions too. So let's get started with that. Anybody have any questions? Okay. And hold on for the microphone so we're able to hear you.
Does anybody know about jellyfish extract for memory work?
Yeah, I've used it in the past, and it's the research is enormous on that. There's a lot of good research on that, and it has helped. It brings back memory and restores brain function. So there's a lot of good research on that. And I met the company when they first came out at the A4M years ago, and they provided all the doctors some samples. So all I can say. Huh?
What is the mechanism? Do you know?
You know what? I sort of stayed away from really using it, but it there's another compound I was just telling our speaker next. It comes from a seed, which he'll describe. In the studies that are going on right now for neurogenesis, for building new neurons and repairing the brain, regenerating brain, and bringing back memory and focus, there's a compound from a seed that's found in Vietnam and Australia. It's grown in the seed itself, and it's extracted just unique. And that's the only one of all the thousands of compounds in nature that can actually grow a new neuron back in the brain. And I'll share that more later on when they're finished with their studies. And there's another product called Cognizin. Anybody know about that one? That's a very good product, and they got a lot of clinical studies on that. It's C-O-G-N-I-Z. It's called Cognizin, and it's by Hayakawa. It's a Japanese company, and the research on memory and restoring brain function is enormous on that. It's a choline molecule, but it's a unique phosphocholine. You look it up, Cognizin, I think it's Cogniz, and you'll see it. And Jaro sells it. I know that Jaro is now big in that area, so they're selling it.
Anybody else have any info on the jellyfish? No? Okay. Okay. Other questions? Hold on.
I was looking for a glutathione that's in a tablet or capsule or soft gel versus a liquid that you have to have a teaspoon for travel. Something I could use for travel. Anybody have something you recommend without going through a doctor or a prescription?
Yeah, I mean, glutathione doesn't really absorb very well in the gut anyway, so not. Yeah, I mean, there is a version that you can put in a fat. I can't remember the brand of it, where it's absorbed a bit better, but most of the normal pills don't work very well.
Hold on.
It's not exactly what you were looking for, but it's quicksilver pump glutathione. So it's not, you don't need a teaspoon, you just pump it in your mouth. It should be refrigerated, but it's fine unrefrigerated for about a week so long as you don't, keep it in a hot car or something. And that's what I use when I travel. Quicksilver.
Also look up Setria, S-E-T-R-I-A. It's the same company I just mentioned, Kyowa, K-Y-O-W-A. Their studies on glutathione is the only clinical studies out there on human. They just finished 5 new studies, and their glutathione is 100% absorbable in the body, and it's in capsules. And that's what the cardiologist, who's the head cardiologist at Houston, that's the only one he uses, and he gets amazing results. His name is Rafe Tawako.
What was the spelling on the...
Bern, can you yell out the spelling again?
It's K-Y-O-W-A is the company.
K-Y-O-W-A.
Look up Setria. It's one, and they got clinical evidence.
Setria is the name. S-E-T-R-I-A?
Yeah.
Okay.
They also have the patents on the Cognizin, and they do basically one of the few Japanese companies that actually do clinical studies on humans, not on animals, humans.
Thanks, Bern.
So, three answers to your question. One, I agree with the floor. The glutathione that you get off the shelf is mostly not very absorbable, so I agree with the comment. The second thing is, in the metabolism of glutathione, to create it, one of the limiting factors is cysteine, which you can get readily from NAC and acetylcysteine. And the third thing is, one of my favorites, is broccoli, and specifically broccoli sprouts, because the sulforaphane will metabolize through the KEAP1, NERF2, ARE, glutathione pathway and make tremendous amounts of glutathione. So those are a few approaches.
Yep, that's the best way.
Can I add as well?
Hold on.
Melatonin as well, 1 to 3 milligrams will fit into the pathway that creates glutathione. So if you take that as an antioxidant for the brain, it will also fit into the glutathione metabolism pathway. Melatonin. Yeah, just the old melatonin, plain 1 milligram, 3 milligrams a day or a night. Yeah.
On another subject, I found out that ozonated olive oil is fantastic, like for infection. I had an ear piercing and my ear was so badly infected they were going to have to let it grow back. So I started putting ozonated olive oil on it, and I kept putting it on. It got rid of the infection. So now if I have a cut anywhere, I use the ozonated olive oil. I got it from Dr. Hong for my gums, and it's also helped my gums, inflammation of the gums. It's fantastic stuff. And make sure if you get the ozonated olive oil that it's refrigerated.
Any other questions that people have?
Since someone brought up about melatonin, 1 milligram 3 times a day, is it true that when we take melatonin, we're actually killing our ability to create it? You know, our natural ability is something I have heard.
Me? I think there's a threshold, and I think you produce about 10 milligrams, if I'm not wrong, a night in a normal human. If you exceed that, then you can actually tamper with your own natural mechanism. If you provide less than that, then what it does is actually slightly different, which is it acts as a hydroxyl radical inhibitor. So in English, it's a very strong antioxidant. So 1 to 3 milligrams time release is very safe, and you can take long term as an antioxidant for the brain. Thanks. Yeah, so 1 to 3, so 1 milligram to 3 milligrams, but just once a night. Okay. Yeah, so just the once a day.
Hold on, guys. Please wait for the mic. Did you want to say something?
She wants to say something. She's treating her ears.
The melatonin also, according to Klinghardt, when taken orally, doesn't actually get into the brain. There are melatonin receptors on all our cells, and it actually hits those receptors and causes muscle fatigue, but it doesn't get past the blood-brain barrier, apparently. So it can be used to relax the body, which then helps with sleep, and of course it's an antioxidant. Yes. Yeah. You always need to be massively mineralized to make glutathione, or for all of those pathways. Mineralization is the big one. B vitamins and mineralization. Well, you can't use B6 without B1 and 3. So you need all your Bs all the time. You never just take one, in my opinion.
You can also at night take an ounce of tart cherry juice, and it also raises the melatonin levels that are already produced by your body. But it activates not the production, the release of the melatonin at night. And if you look at tart cherry juice, you can also do tart in the form of powder. It does the same thing, and it has very profound anti-inflammatory mechanisms as well while you're sleeping.
Well, some melatonin as well. So turkey meat as a source of L-tryptophan. Or if you want a shortcut and you're vegan, then vegan L-tryptophan. So, yeah.
I mean, the other way, you can just get in a nasty, lovely cold bath. And I mean, when you get really cold, it releases melatonin as well. So I mean, a cold bath. Cold bath. So I mean, having a cold shower at night, and just lowering your heating. So you don't sleep very well when it's hot, but if you can lower your body temperature a bit at night, yeah, when you get a bit colder, it releases melatonin too.
There's a hormone that's been discovered about 5-6 years ago called irisin, as in iris from the eye. That's released when you're exposed to intense cold. It's also released when you exercise, and it actually mimics the effects of exercise and caloric restriction. So if you jump into a cold lake or into a cold bath or have a cold shower, like the old naturopathic trick of finishing the hot shower with a cold shower, that actually, if it makes you shiver, then you're producing irisin, so you're burning more calories, you're turning your white fat into brown fat, so you're upregulating your metabolism, and you're anti-aging your whole central nervous system. via melatonin production. So having a cold bath, if you can take it, if you can work yourself gradually into that. Jack Kruse, the neurosurgeon from, I think he's from the East Coast, he's very big on cold thermogenesis. Look him up, Jack Kruse, Kruse. He's a neurosurgeon.
Cold temperatures also decrease your NK cells, so you're part of your depress your immune system. So you have to be real careful with cold. Hydrotherapy using hot cold water is a therapy, and it can have profound effects on the body that you want to know about before you go playing with it. You know, maybe you want your melatonin up, but maybe you already have some underlying, if somebody had an underlying virus or something, you go and start doing cold therapy, it can blow up and take over your immune system. So, you know, you have to be careful.
Okay. Is this another question or? Okay.
I have heard that like when the shower, as you're finishing, you go cold and you expose your lymph glands as an activation of them. Is that what, back to you guys.
It's not just putting cold on your lymphatics. You do hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, back and forth, and it trains your autonomic nervous system to adjust to temperatures better. And it helps you reset your basal body temperature also.
Okay, we're going to move on here. Is it a short question? Huh? Okay. Answer?
The Dolphin Club in San Francisco, they've got probably 50 people who like to go swimming in the bay this time of year. And they record, they call them the Polar Bear Club. I took a class in swimming in the bay a couple months ago. The temperature was 60 degrees. And the instructor harassed me because I wore a wetsuit. She looked at me like she was 50 years old. She said she was 85. I believe 50. So if you want to study people who do this, there's a community in San Francisco that does it.
But yes, be careful too, and you know, find a good protocol to do.
Dr. Presnitz, one of the first hydrotherapy doctors to be very well recorded, 40,000 cases with only 41 deaths, and they were all brought to him almost exclusively in end stages of whatever disease. From the 1800s, mid-1800s, he was actually awarded his doctorate by the last Habsburg king. But he used almost exclusively cold water therapies, and he had there's statues in 5 countries to this man. He was massively, there were hydrotherapy clinics opened all over America because of this man, and it was cold water therapy. So indeed, that's how powerful it can be.
Okay, let's move on here. We're going to go to some announcements. We have one announcement. Christian?
Sure. Hi, my name's Christian. Should I just stand right here? My name's Christian, so I'm not a speaker for today. I was actually invited by Susan. Thank you so much for having me here. We met at Institute for the Future, I believe. So I'm actually not talking about nutrition and brain aging. I'm actually talking to you guys about gut flora. So kind of nutrition also. The stuff you eat, the stuff comes out. That is what we research at the Relman Laboratory and the Palo Alto VA. So what my job is to coordinate this massive study of folks all across the United States, 150 people. We have folks in Alaska, in Mississippi, Maryland, and especially here in Palo Alto. And what we're asking folks to do is sign up healthy folks, healthy individuals to donate their stool and your urine samples on a periodic basis. And with this information, we'll know how healthy people and specifically how healthy people's gut flora respond to various perturbations. So a dose of antibiotics, a dose of, or a regimen of a colon clean out and a change in their diet. And so through this information, we'll know what factors stay stable. So maybe if, for example, a patient has to take antibiotics, we know how to push them towards back to their state of normalcy. So that's what we hope to do. That's kind of the big vision of the study. And this is great for science and all, but what does this mean for folks who want to enroll in the study? So you do get paid to be part of the study. It's a small amount for what we're asking you to do. Then it's, what is it? $300 to $500. There, nice. So it's on a scale. Your commitment of the study will be 25 to 36 weeks, and we'll talk about it more also. But the really cool thing is at the end of the study, you get your gut flora data. So you get to know what your population is, how it changes throughout the study, and how it hopefully reverts back to normal. But not only do you get this data, you also get this data and you get a conference with Les Dethlefsen, who's the lead scientist of our study. So this way, you can imagine yourself being someone who doesn't know much about the gut flora, but is enthusiastic to be part of the study. You get your data at the end, and best case scenario, it's just gibberish to you. Worst case scenario, you start Googling all these different bacteria, and you think you have 5 kinds of cancer. So the nice thing is you get kind of this guided tour of what your gut flora actually means. So this is what I have to offer you. I will collect your poo. We're right here at the Palo Alto VA, and I got cups and everything. No, not now, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk. So again, my name's Christian. I have a bunch of, yes. The question was, do you have to take antibiotics? And the answer is no. There's various arms of the study. 2 of them include antibiotics. The other one does not include antibiotics. Okay. I have a bunch of business cards up here. The shortcut to our website is bit.do/microbes. I'll get your question in a second. bit.do/microbes. So that'll have kind of a frequently asked question portion, and at the very end will be an eligibility survey. So if you're eligible and you fill it out and you want to be contacted, I'll contact you and we'll go on from there and get you all enrolled into the study. We had a question over there, and then you. Did you have a question, sir? Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. bit.do/microbes. MICROBES. You don't have to be local. So like I said, we have folks in Mississippi, and we have this whole dry ice system where we'll get samples wherever you are. So yes, yeah, you actually will send them in the mail. Yes. Hold on. So the question was, will we publish the results? And yes, we will publish the results. It's going to come slow though. So in terms of what the normal participant will get will be 16S data, which will tell you what your gut flora is on a genus level for every sample you provide, which tells you that's a really good picture of what's going on. But we're not just looking at 16S, we're looking at metagenomics, so the genome, the metatranscriptomics, and also the metabolomics. That stuff will take way longer than the 25 to 36 weeks. 5 years if we're lucky, but that will all get published, publicly available, anonymized.
All right, thank you very much, Christian.
Yeah, and so this is very exciting. This is a very exciting research world. Fecal transplants, taken through pills, or taken through a tube, either through the front end or the back end. Probiotics, right? Something I encountered recently is yellow soup, which is diarrhea soup, which is basically a fecal transplant of the ancient tradition. So now we're delving into this, and it works, but we want to know why it works and how come it works for some people and maybe not others. So that's what we're trying to figure out. Have you tried it yourself? No, I haven't. But if you do the diet colon cleanout portion, so a colon cleanout, it's pineapple flavor. So you can have some pineapple flavored colon cleanout drink. I'm leaving a bunch of business cards up front. I'm going to try to stay to the very end with you guys in case you want to chat. I'm having some car issues, so I may have to leave in the middle. So, But I got these guys up here for you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen. Okay, guys. How you doing as far as break? You usually have 2 speakers, and tonight we just have 1 because he's so good. Anybody need a break at all, or? Of course, there is a problem because he does have a British accent, and apparently he's from the UK. Sure, I'll take care of that, Bern.